This is Gadget Stop 321. In today's video, I'm taking a look at another pen that was given to me as a gift by my sister. Now, the first Christmas after I got into the fountain pen hobby, she gave me a wood fountain pen that she had gotten in North Carolina. And it was made by a craftsman who lived in that area. And then the second Christmas after that, she gave me this pen. This is a pen that appears to be made out of cherry wood. This is the only labeling that came on it. Hermitage cherry fountain pen. And she got this from the gift shop at the Hermitage. Now, on first impressions, I liked the first fountain pen just a little bit better. It had a more pronounced grain. It's made out of Bacote wood. I like the shape of the clip. It's got a subtle arc to it. And they're both very pretty pens. But after I began using this pen, this one became my favorite. This one is a little bit, just a little bit lighter. And it has a less pronounced grain. It's a little bit glossier. I like the shape of the barrel. It flares out just a little, it's a little more bulbous here in the middle. It's got just an interesting shape to it. It also has a screw cap. And let's see, the threads in the cap are plastic, and the threads on the section or on the body are metal. So again, it's plastic on metal, so they're very smooth. But on this pen, instead of having threads on the back to post, it's just a little more convenient. It's just a nice push to post. On this pen, the cap is substantially lighter, so it doesn't back weight it. I like that. Let me see. Just balances right there in the crook of my hand. It's very comfortable. It's a nice weight. It's substantial without being too heavy. I love the shape of the section, that hourglass shape. This has a much wider diameter, so it's very comfortable. It has a larger nib. Let me see. I'll show you the two compared. They're both pretty attractive two-tone nibs. But you can see the difference in the diameter of the section and the difference in the size of the nibs. I really like this one. This one's also a cartridge converter. I've got a standard international small or short cartridge in it right now. One of the things I forgot to mention in the video about the Bacote wood pen, I don't know a lot about wooden pens. These are the only two wooden pens that I have. Now this Bacote wood pen has a crack, and I don't know if you may be able to see it right here. I don't know if these more pronounced grain pens are more likely to crack, or if that has anything to do with it. But I will say, since this was the pen that has the crack in it, it's not noticeable at all unless you're looking for it. The grain hides the crack nicely. This one has a less glossy finish. It has more of a satin finish on it, whereas this cherry pen has a very glossy finish. I don't know if that does anything to prevent cracking, but I'm just telling you what I see in my two pens. Now, I inked this one up with, let's see, Colorverse Golden Record. Now, this Golden Record is just beautiful in a stub nib. It shades nicely. It's when I wrote with it in the stub nib, it kind of reminded me of toasted coconut. But when I put it in this pen, and doesn't that look like a nice pairing? In this pen, it writes much darker. And I think in both of these, you could kind of classify it as more of a pumpkin color. This is a little bit darker since the ink is not spread out over a wider area. But both are very nice. I like Golden Record. Okay. Now, I went back and I did a few more writing samples with different pens for comparison. The Bacote pen, again, wanted to hard start right here, and it's prone to doing that on papers that are more smoother papers. Let's see. Now, this nib just says Iridium Point, Germany. It doesn't tell whether it's fine, medium, broad. So let's take a look at it compared to the others. I'm just going to call this the Cherry fountain pen. This one writes a little wetter than the other. Now it had a little bit of a hard start there, but that's just because I had it open. This writes quite a bit wetter than the Bacote pen. I'm not sure what the grade is on that. I like this larger nib. It gives you more distance between your fingers and the paper. I like that wider grip. This one might be a little bit smoother. It writes a little wetter than the other pen. I don't know if that has anything to do with it being a larger nib and a larger feed. I'm not sure what all goes into that. But this has become one of my favorite pens. And despite it being somewhat large and bulky compared to other pens that I use, it's very comfortable, and there's a lot to be said for how well a pen is balanced. Now, if you found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel.